it's all good, good. No, it's all love. No, it's all love.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Modern Polygyny podcast, the only podcast where 1 + 2 = 1. I'm Ray.
I'm Prince.
And on this podcast, we discuss polygyny and relationships in general. We encourage, uplift, and support those living the polygamous lifestyle and those who have a genuine curiosity. On this podcast, we will also discuss family and wealth building. And in today's episode, we're going to be discussing letting go of control in your relationship.
Another good one.
Right, another good one.
So
Go ahead, baby, get this started.
Yeah, so the first thing I want to ask everybody has, like, for those of you that have practiced polygyny, how many of you put in the comments like a brown heart? Put in the comments a brown heart. Those of you that have practiced polygyny before, and have went through that first sabotage. The first wife sabotaged your first relationship. Put those brown hearts in the comments, please. Mm-hmm. I would like to know. I was in a group and someone was talking about that and how the first wife sabotaged the first relationship.
Mm-hmm. I hear it's pretty common.
Yeah, even,
I don't feel so bad about it now.
You don't feel bad?
Now that I know that, I'm not the only one.
And it's just like, just letting a lot of people out there know, a lot of times your first relationship dealing in polygyny or polygamy as a whole,
yeah, a
lot of times it doesn't work because of your partner may sabotage it.
Yeah.
And
That's right.
if they don't want it to work, they're gonna find a reason and a way to make it not work. Mm-hmm. And I'm just letting you know. So if your expectations is to get into this and your first one is just a home run, 9 times out of 10 it's probably not going to be.
Right.
But I'm not trying to speak negatively or speak bad over your relationships or anything like that. I'm just letting you know what your expectations should be.
Right. And I think that has to do, and that's why we brought this one up, because we had this conversation not long ago. And we were talking about how the first relationship is usually sabotaged. And I believe it's because, for me, I'll say for me, I know it was because of fear and anxiety. I had a fear that, my husband was going to leave me, not love me anymore, all that good stuff. So I had to give up control. I had to give up control about the outcome of our relationship, because if you don't want to be with me, then you don't want to be with me, right? It don't have anything to do with anybody else. It has to do with you. So if your fear is that your husband is going to leave you, he's going to leave you whether he has another wife or not. You can't control what he's going to do. You can't control his decision making. You can't control his thoughts. You can't control his actions. So keep that in mind when you get into polygamy.
Right. And the addition of another wife doesn't necessarily mean that you're losing your husband, or he's not your husband anymore, or, at the end of the day, your husband is still your husband. Mm-hmm. If he's a good man, he's going to continue to be a good man for the most part. I don't see why he would stop now. And
that should be like a sign to you. If you do get into a polygynous relationship and your husband's not treating you the way he used to. And I mean, be honest with yourself and be realistic, because when you get into this, nothing about your relationship should change. It should all continue to be the same. The way he provides for you should be the same. The way he treats you should be the same. The way he talks to you should be the same. The only thing that should be divided really is the time. Other than that, everything should stay the same, in my opinion. What you think?
Right.
Okay.
And a lot of times you need a little bit of time away anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
Like we spoke on this on another episode of sometimes just the women can't keep up with a man's sex drive.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
And a lot of times men hold back. I know I did. When
I think you became resentful.
I became resentful a little bit.
Yeah.
I actually used to be a little nasty about it sometimes.
I think so.
And I learned
That's what I mean. It was like resentment.
Yeah. I learned to get better with that.
Right. Now we work well together.
Yeah, we work very well. It's like
Right.
a well-oiled machine now.
Right.
So we went through our hiccups, and I don't want anyone to ever think like, oh, yo, we just got it all together, and we came into this thing just knowing what to do. Like, you know, we're still young, so we're figuring out life just like everyone else.
Right.
Figuring out marriage and figuring out polygamy, polygyny, which is what we practice, and that's what we're going forward. That's what the lifestyle that we're going to live.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you can take control of. We're speaking of giving up control in your relationship, but you can take control of of your outlook and how you look at this, right?
Yes, your mindset.
Because at the end of the day, you're not losing your husband. You're gaining a companion, not in a sexual way. Well, whatever. In our situation, is not in a sexual way.
Right.
You're gaining a companion as well, and just like that is your husband, that is her husband. Just like that is his wife, that is your sister, right? And like I said, our dynamic is a little bit different because when we had ours, we all lived in the same household. And going forward, when we do settle down with someone else, that's the way it's going to be. We're all going to live in the same household. So you're going to have to interact with each other.
Right.
And for the most part, I would say, I don't even want to say for the most part, you and our last sister, your sister, got along.
Yeah.
And it was her outlook. Like I said, we went through the first time, and my wife sabotaging everything. And
right.
We went through that stuff already. At that point, we went through other relationships that we have tried, and some didn't work for different reasons or whatever the case may be.
Right.
But I don't look at anything as a failure. Everything is a learning curve. Like it's an education.
Right. We learned a lot.
We definitely learned a lot. So, yes, adding someone else doesn't necessarily mean that you're losing anything.
And to go back a little bit, I think we put a lot of emphasis on my. Like, that's my husband. So you think that that's your possession, but he's not your possession. He's given to you, you know. He is your husband, if that's what you want to say, but you got to take the possession part out of it. Just like I had to give this up too. My children, they're mine. I birthed them, right? But I can't control what they do. If I teach them what to do and they go against what I teach them to do, I can't do anything about that. And you can take that in with your husband as well. If, you know, you tell him what you want, you can give him, you know, how you're feeling and everything like that, but he's going to do what he wants to do. So you have to take the possession out of because it's going to cause you a lot of anxiety.
Right. And another thing in polygyny, a lot of times what happens is you realize that you do not have the control that you thought you had. It makes you realize that you don't have that control.
It's an illusion.
It's an illusion, right? And I feel like with a lot of us, that's what a lot of us want. We want the illusion of, oh, this is mine, or whatever the case may be. Yo, there's no way my husband desires another woman. I'm the only one. I'm the only one he has eyes for. And, you know, he would never do it.
Right.
And a lot of people are in love with the illusion.
Yeah.
You know, even so to the point that you see a lot of people that have perfect relationships, right? They're the, what do you call that, relationship goal couple, and they're all these things, and then next thing you know, they're getting a divorce. Right. Because everyone's in love with the illusion. And as long as things look a certain way, and that's another thing too, in polygyny, it's not necessarily so much it doesn't make sense for it to a lot of people and that it can't work. It's that they're worried about how it looks. Like, what are my coworkers going to think? What are my friends going to think? What is my family going to think? And
not only how it looks, I think that women, I can speak for women, I think that women, we want to know, I'm not going to say women, let me say me. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. You can listen to the rest of it on all major podcasting platforms such as Google Play, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Amazon. Thanks again so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in our next video.